I think traditional alarm systems have become basically obsolete. Not because people don't want home security anymore, but because most of us smart home enthusiasts already own about 90% of the hardware that's needed to build one ourselves. Door sensors, motion sensors, cameras and presence sensors. And if you're using something like Home Assistant, you've probably already got everything that you need to know when someone enters your home unexpectedly. The only thing that's missing is something loud enough to make them regret it. So today, let's take a look at SONOFF's new SenseGuard Indoor Siren, and whether this little device is all that's needed to complete a modern DIY alarm system. Hi, I'm James, and I've been building out my smart home for years, with products from just about every manufacturer out there, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And over the time that I've been building out my smart home, I've slowly stopped seeing the point in traditional alarm systems. Just think about what comes in a typical alarm system. A control unit, some door sensors, motion sensors, a siren, and maybe a keypad. Now compare that with what's already installed in a lot of our smart homes. Most of us already have some sort of Zigbee contact sensors on our doors and windows, PAR motion sensors in hallways, and cameras covering the entrances, and in many cases even more advanced sensors like millimeter wave presence and location tracking on your phone. So instead of remembering to set the alarm every time I leave the house, Home Assistant, the control unit in this case, simply knows that we're away. When my wife and I both leave with our phones, the house automatically enters a kind of alarm state, and if either of us come home again, it disarms automatically. No keypads, no codes, no accidentally setting off the alarm because you forgot it was armed when you came in with a bag full of shopping. And if the door opens while you're away or motion is detected where it shouldn't be, I already received notifications. So for me, the only missing piece has always been a proper siren, and that's where this comes in. So this is it, SONOFF's new SenseGuard Indoor Siren. It's a Zigbee 3.0 siren capable of producing up to 105 decibels of noise. It includes a flashing red warning light and can either be run from USB-C or its built-in rechargeable battery, which SONOFF says can last over 300 days in standby when used on battery power. And it's surprisingly compact. And because it's Zigbee, it fits nicely into an existing smart home rather than needing an entirely separate ecosystem. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you can probably guess that I'll be using this with Zigbee to MQTT, but SONOFF officially supports Home Assistant using ZHA as well, or via their own hubs and their eWeLink app. Though at the time of recording, ZHA still requires an additional script. So let's get it paired with Zigbee to MQTT and see what entities we expose. And full disclosure, for the first time on a SONOFF product, it did do something a little bit odd when I paired it. The interview process completed, and I was going through the entities in the Exposes tab when it disappeared and then reconnected a few seconds later. And it actually went through this loop twice before it finally settled and has fortunately stayed connected ever since. One thing I was very pleased to see is that you can get control over far more than simply turning the siren on and off. You can adjust the volume, choose 10 different alarm sounds, control the flashing light, and even change how long the alarm sounds for, anywhere from 1 second right up to 15 minutes. Now here's where I think this becomes far more useful than people might initially expect. Because yes, you can of course build a DIY alarm system, but that's not the only use case. See, I've got another problem around my home. For some unknown reason, cats seem to absolutely love using the area behind my car at the front of my house as their personal toilet. So when this device arrived, I immediately had an idea. Seeing as my video doorbell already has AI pet detection, why not let Home Assistant briefly trigger this siren whenever it detects an animal? But, of course, only if it doesn't also detect a person. That way I'm not blasting this thing at everyone that's walking their dog down the street. Just the animal that's wandered into the path of my front home and is trying to defecate on it. It's definitely not the intended use case, but that's one of the things I love about smart homes. You can take a combination of typical products, sprinkle in a few automations, and suddenly create something completely new. Now, SONOFF does market this as an indoor siren, and officially that's exactly how you should use it. Do not try this at home. But for my use case, I've mounted it just outside my front door, underneath the top of the doorway, because it's well sheltered from direct weather, while still being outside where anyone approaching the house will hear it immediately. And crucially, those pesky cats. Time will tell how well it survives here, so if it ends up failing after 6 months, I'll be sure to let you know that I killed it. It's also worth me showing you here quickly that there is a built-in tamper entity, which will tell you immediately if anyone tries to walk up and unscrew it from the mount. So I don't have to worry too much about whether this is in reach of someone, because as soon as they unscrew it, I can get a notification and even trigger it. So far in my testing, there are quite a few things that I'm quite liking. The USB-C power is really nice, as I can either permanently power it or plug it into a USB-C solar panel that I had knocking around. The internal battery means that it will continue working even if someone cuts the power, and the flashing red light adds another visual deterrent. And even the fact that it has 10 different alarm sounds gives you the flexibility for automating slightly different situations. And being able to make it sound for just 1 or 2 seconds opens up uses like mine that aren't really alarm related at all. Really, the only other thing I'd like to see would be an outdoor rated version, especially if they included a little solar panel. A weatherproof enclosure would make this an easy recommendation for mounting it on garages and sheds or external walls without worrying about the elements. Overall, I think this really fills a gap that has existed in DIY smart homes for quite a while. If you've already invested in loads of sensors and built them into Home Assistant, then this might be the final piece that turns that collection of devices into a genuine security system. Or like me, you might end up using it to scare off cats. Either way, it's a surprisingly flexible little device. And the link to this product will be in the description below as usual, and over on my website. And if you purchase one using my link, I'll earn a small commission at no cost to you, so thanks for supporting the channel. And finally, before we finish, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to my mid-tier channel members whose names are on screen now. Your support really does help keep this channel going. And remember that every month I give away a bit of smart home tech, including my WLED controllers, relays, smart bulbs, locks, and plenty more to one lucky mid-tier member. So if you want to be in it to win it, sign up below or using the links at the top of my website. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, remember, home is where the smart is.